Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. With the ninth overall selection, the Seattle Seahawks ended up going with tackle Charles Cross from Mississippi State. Now, looking at what this guy brings to the table, there is so much that you can look at from a pass blocking standpoint. Arguably, right now, the best pass blocker in the entire draft. I think the Seattle Seahawks recognize that they have to continue to build up a foundation. Offensive line is something that they haven't necessarily had a focus on over the last couple of seasons. I think that's been pretty clear and obvious, but now with Russell Wilson gone, he's not able to hide some of those deficiencies along that offensive line like he's been able to do in the past. Obviously, now you have Drew Lock coming in to be your starting quarterback potentially. Who knows what's going to happen the rest of the draft? But right now, as it currently stands, he would probably be the starter, and he doesn't have the same level of mobility that a guy like Russell Wilson had. Looking at this trade, for Russell Wilson, they ended up picking up this selection. Charles Cross is a great start. Looking at what he is as an offensive lineman, I definitely think they were considering a couple of different things at the spot. I thought corner was definitely going to be in some consideration with this ninth overall pick. I thought quarterback was obviously in consideration. There's a couple of guys here like Malik Willis, like Matt Corral, like Kenny Pickett that very well could have been in play. However, they opted to not go the quarterback route. Maybe they're going to wait it out. Maybe there's a couple of guys later on in the draft that they like and that they feel comfortable with. However, Charles Cross is a terrific player. A guy once upon a time that was more known to be a run blocker now has become a very, very good and talented pass blocker. At Mississippi State, this guy was an absolute problem. He was a clean shield for his quarterback. This is a guy that kept his quarterback upright for sure. I love the pick for them. I think the Seattle Seahawks are probably taking the right approach to this rebuild. Let's not go ahead and throw a quarterback in there with not a lot of infrastructure around him along that offensive line more specifically. Obviously, there are some big-time playmakers still on this offense. The fact that DK Metcalf still exists is going to be huge for Drew Lock or whoever ends up being the starter next. There's no guarantees. Obviously, I think that the Seattle team is trying to position themselves to just have some really good infrastructure for said quarterback. And, with all the things, that were on the board, I think Charles Cross was a guy that definitely had been highlighted pretty specifically by the Seattle team. I know they had liked him in some of those pre-draft meetings. Obviously ended up transitioning into him being selected with that ninth overall pick. I like this from an overall standpoint. I think building the trenches is important in this league. Charles Cross is a big-time selection for the Seattle Seahawks roster. I think when you look at the huge upgrade that they're currently getting, I think it makes all the sense in the world. Charles Cross is a big-time player. And I think at that offensive tackle spot is going to be a premium in this draft, and we're going to see quite a few of them come off in this first round. We had already seen two prior. Now you add a third to the list, Charles Cross, another latest and greatest example of a guy that can be an elite pass protector potentially at the next level. The Seattle Seahawks, I'm going to give this a B+ level grade. I think he's a very, very good player, a guy that definitely fulfills a need. I think for sure that's what you have to be looking at. Analytically speaking, he's going to keep Drew Lock upright, and I think that's what's really important. And he's one of the best pass blockers in the entire class. I've been very, very clear about this. I think there's a lot of value in that in a pass-happy league, especially with the wide receiver weapons that you currently have. It's pretty important to go ahead and be great in pass protection. So once again, I'm giving this a B+. I think this makes sense for the Seattle Seahawks. This is not something that really shocked me at all. Definitely thought quarterback was in consideration, but at the end of the day, they go ahead and select a stud offensive tackle for this team. Good for them for finally, really investing in an offensive line spot, specifically tackle, one of the premier positions in the NFL. So thanks, guys, for stopping by. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of the pick, and we will catch you in the next video.